everyone. This is Omnitalk Retail. I'm Anne Mezzenga.
And I'm Chris Walton.
And we are coming to you live for our final interview from Shoptalk Fall 2024. And we would like to take a brief moment to thank the people that made all of our coverage of this show possible. First being Microsoft. Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization to achieve more. Learn more about how together tech and people can realize the promise of AI responsibly at aka.ms/AIatMicrosoft. And Narvar. Narvar is the leader in post-purchase intelligence. Narvar empowers retailers to drive revenue, reduce costs, and streamline operations, all while delivering exceptional customer experiences. You can stop by today or tomorrow if you're here at the show and check them out in booth L45 or visit them at narvar.com. All right, now Chris, we get to introduce an Omni-star,
Anne.
for the first time
I love doing
at
that in the
Shoptalk
show.
24.
Yes,
Sitting
so
in between us, we have the Chief Marketing Officer at American Freight, Lauri Joffe, and 2024 Omni-star. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And that was a very fun and unexpected surprise.
Yes,
so thank
yes,
you. Yes.
yes.
Why unexpected?
Unexpected. I wasn't expecting it. And I
Yeah,
woke
no,
up
I know you
Friday
weren't.
and there
I
it
know you
was.
weren't. Yeah,
so.
I know you weren't. Yeah, I know. But very well deserved. Very well deserved. Backstory, we met Lauri at a dinner at Shoptalk in March and was super impressed with just the knowledge and the passion she has for the whole concept of omnichannel or unified commerce retailing, whatever you want to call it. So Lauri, I'm curious. Let's start out with this. So American Freight, you know, some people are familiar with it, others may not be. If you could give a little background on what it is and what it does, and then also your role and your background too.
Sure. Yeah, we're not a freight company. American Freight's a retailer. We have about 300 stores across the U.S. We sell furniture, mattresses, and primarily open box appliances. It's a kind of unique category there. I'm Chief Marketing Officer, so I have the huge privilege of leading marketing and e-commerce for the company. Before that, I've been with the company for about 5 years, and before leading marketing, I was Chief Digital Officer,
Yes.
so overseeing BI and IT and e-com. And yes.
And home furnishing, or the categories that you specialize in at American Freight, there's some dynamics there, right? That make that a little bit of a unique business.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for sure right now. So we serve the value shopper. I think the home segment right now is, going through a lot,
Right.
and in the value space even more so. So lots of challenges in kind of a big ticket space.
Well, Lauri, as you mentioned, you were named one of our most recent Omni-stars. And we give that award because it's really outlining the work that people are doing to make sure that stores are running efficiently, that the teams know what they're doing, and most importantly, like Chris alluded to earlier, that your team has a focus on a unified commerce experience. Given your previous role as Chief Digital Officer and now as Chief Marketing Officer, how are you making sure that that experience that people are seeing in the marketing that they're seeing online or in flyers and all the other various metrics that you have or methods you have to get marketing to them, how are you seeing that experience translate in a store?
Yeah, I mean, I think the word unified commerce, right? Like it's all about taking that word very seriously.
Yeah.
We do. So it is being unified for all that means, and that starts with customer experience. So you want to make sure that every single marketing impression feels the same. Every single click to the website feels the same, all the way through to the visit to the store, feels, looks, sounds like your brand, feels like your culture, right? So that's just on the customer experience side. Then you want to make sure you're unifying your data, right? Which is so critical. And then all the way through to the KPIs, right? And how you talk about the business. At American Freight, we talk about e-commerce KPIs very similarly to the KPIs in the stores.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so like we talk about traffic and conversion rate, right, and average ticket, and I think that helps a ton to really create a unified commerce culture, which is really what we're trying to do. So we incent our stores. We want to make sure that our store associates don't feel like e-commerce is competing with them in any way, right? We want them to embrace e-commerce, so they're incentivized to treat e-commerce orders like any order. So it really needs to impact every part of the company.
That's interesting. How long did that take to happen? Because I can remember when I went into e-commerce for the first time, I sat in my first meeting, and it was like a completely foreign language to me. And I said to my boss at the time, I'm like, I have no idea what anyone just said in this meeting. And it took me a long time to get a culture to that. And so I imagine getting the stores on the same financial metrics language was not easy. So how did you guys go about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first step, and it seems basic, but sometimes challenging, is getting traffic, right? So make sure that you understand the traffic patterns into your store. So once we put traffic counters in, then obviously you have to start talking about conversion rate, right? And you want to start looking at conversion rate, how it varies by store, how it varies by hour. It helps identify problems online, and it helps identify problems in store, right? So it was just a matter of all locking into those metrics.
Right, you could look at all the things that you do online, like what's the average price of what you're selling, what's the conversion rate, and all that. That's really interesting. I've never heard anyone take that approach in the stores. Yeah, I've not to this day heard of that. I imagine people are doing it, but I've not heard of it.
We hear so much more about like other technology that people are investing in to do things in store, but it's just, it sounds like it's traffic counting and starting there and then backing into
working
it.
from the same sheet of music.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the challenges is we are surrounded by so many bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Right? And they are getting shinier than ever, right? At the end of the day, though, for retail, you have to execute the basics. That's what matters, right? So you got to make sure, and particularly in Omnichannel, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, the store has to be staffed. The team has to be trained, right? The store has to be clean. You have to be in stock, right? So imagine in our use case, she's spent time online. We spent all these dollars to drive her to the website. She's researched. She found the sofa that she loves. She now drives 20 minutes to the store because we've told her it's in stock, and she walks in and it's not. That's a super disappointing experience, and it doesn't matter how many gadgets and bells and whistles you have in the store if you're not able to meet that basic expectation. So it really is about executing the basics, and that's, I think, who wins. Yeah,
well, that's why you're an OmniStar, too, because you provide nuggets of insights that Ann and I have never thought about, especially around the idea of aligning your organization around a common metric to succeed and do well in this omnichannel culture. So you mentioned a couple focuses for you, making sure there's a consistent experience, making sure data is in the right place. What do you think are the core foundational building blocks of unified commerce success or omnichannel success?
I think a lot of it, and really one of the most important things, is about the customer. It all, at the end of the day, circles back to the customer and making sure that you have a very good view of your customer data and a good understanding of the customer. So get a good CDP in place, know how to use it, make sure that the data that you're piping in is clean. So that's really your step one, is cleaning up your CDW.
So if you went to a new company day one, you'd be like, all right, I want to understand that particularly. Like, how are we doing this? How clean's our data? That would be your focus?
I mean, I think that's where it has to start. Yep. That's the foundation. And when I started in this role, like, that's one of the first things we tackled, because you have to understand your customer, right? Like if I'm now retargeting a cart abandoner, right, but she's actually walked into the store and purchased, and I don't understand that, that's not good.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So explain that. Why is that not good?
There's a lot of wasted dollars, right? It's just a ton of wasted marketing dollars when she's actually converted, and I'm annoying her. Yeah. Right? So just all in, I think it's not a good experience.
She's building a cart for a reason online to help her with her shopping in store.
Exactly. Right? Happens all the time, right? Yep. The journeys are totally non-linear anymore. And even understanding that, I think, is important. You can't do that without data. Right. Understanding how many of your .com customers are converting in store, how many of them are visiting the store before they convert online, all those nuances are important to understand so that you can run your business well.
Again, why she's an OmniStar, folks.
Well, Lauri, let's close this out with some kind of expectations that you have. We've put all these teams and tools in place to be successful, to pay off that unified commerce experience. What are you looking forward to next year? What kind of things are you going to be exploring next year as an organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think starting fourth quarter, we're definitely excited about the fourth quarter. We went through a pretty major brand refresh at the beginning of this year.
That's right.
And are still undergoing, because it's a change, right? And it takes time, and it's a process. So
how many locations do you have? How many store locations?
Just over 300.
Okay,
yeah.
That's a big rollout to do in 300 stores too.
For sure, for sure. And it's a cultural shift, right, too. So it takes time. But a big part of the brand refresh is just introducing fun into the brand, removing hassle from a big ticket experience. So our Q4 is all about that and all about fun. We're in the midst of Spooktober. So it's just having a bit of fun, and we have a ghost haunt happening in our stores at the end of the month. So just trying to engage our customer and get some excitement from our store associates as well. And then next year, look, we're waiting for the home category to start recovering.
Re-enliven? Yes.
And that's really what we're anticipating, and kind of bullish on the second half, I'd say, of next year.
Well, hopefully the interest rate moves are going to help that here in the future, without a
Yes.
doubt. So, well, thank you, Lauri. Thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure when we can interview one of our Omni stars, and we salute you again. So thank you for all that you do. And thank you as well to our sponsors, Microsoft and Narvar, for making all of our coverage here at Shoptalk Fall, the inaugural Shoptalk Fall 2024 possible. So on behalf of Anne and myself, this concludes our coverage from the conference. And Anne,
Be careful out there.